So welcome to the College of Computing Hall of Fame induction ceremony. For people who don't know me, I'm Alex Sorso. I'm the interim dean of the College of Computing. I've been the interim dean for the last year, give or take a couple of months. And I have to say that I've been at Georgia Tech for 24 years, and serving as the interim dean has really been the highlight of my time at Georgia Tech. So I'm really happy that I had this opportunity. And speaking of deanships, tonight you get a double treat, as we also have here our next dean. And I will ask you, sorry, I don't want to put you too much on the spot, but please stand up, Vivek. We have Vivek Sarkar here. And Vivek is going to be, as you know, the next dean of the College of Computing. And Vivek has played many leadership roles, including, in particular, being the current chair of our School of Computer Science. And in fact, you know, Vivek was my boss, so he was the chair of my school. And I had many chances to, you know, appreciate Vivek's leadership style. And a couple of things I want to say about Vivek. Vivek was able to, first of all, grow the school by doing some really phenomenal hires. And, you know, and he was able to do these hires because of his style. And most importantly, he also improved the school of the culture of the school dramatically. So I'm sure that Vivek will be a great dean, and I look forward to seeing which new heights he will take the college. So once more, please, let's hear it for Vivek. So now back to the main reason why we are here, which is the College of Computing Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame was established to celebrate and honor distinguished C of C alumni, faculty, and friends who have made significant contribution to computing technology or computing education during their careers. These are individuals, basically, that make us proud. So people who brought distinction to COC through their achievement and their contribution to their professions, the college, and society at large. And in addition to honoring our Hall of Fame inductees for their lasting impact on the field of computing, we will also recognize two hiring, rising stars tonight. And these are individuals who are earlier in their careers, but have already made significant contributions to the field of computing and to the college. So when you hear about our newest honorees, you will learn even more about the breadth and depth of our story, so the story of the college. So about the college and the people in it who have made a massive influence on research, industry, society, and more. It is because of people like this that we remain a top institution in national rankings and have been able to support our ever-growing community of faculty, students, alumni, and friends. And speaking of the story of the college, I would like to conclude these initial remarks by introducing Peter Freeman. As you know, Peter Freeman is the founding dean of the College of Computing. And when he took the helm of the college in 1990, the college had about 30 faculty, less than $2 million of annual research, and a few hundred students. During his tenure as a dean, Peter transformed the college into a dynamic group of 65 faculty with more than $10 million in annual research and nearly 2,000 students. And on a slightly more personal note, I have to say that Peter is also the reason, indirectly, why I'm at Georgia Tech. As he recruited Mary Jean Herold, the professor was my postdoc supervisor at the time. So I would have been in Ohio State unless Peter recruited Mary Jean here. And I'm pretty happy that that worked out this way. And I will say more about Mary Jean in a minute. So along with making numerous contributions to advancing computer science education and research, Peter's passion for preserving our rich history led him to meticulously document the journey of the College of Computing in a book. At this point, most of you should have a copy of the book, which is entitled Vision and Actualization in Academia, Georgia Tech's College of Computing. And this book is a comprehensive history that captures the spirit of innovation, collaboration, and growth that defines the College of Computing. Peter was kind enough to share a preprint of the book with me when I became interim dean. And I really, really enjoyed reading the book. So even though I've been at Georgia Tech for 24 years, there were many facts that I didn't know, so that was really great. And I'm sure you will also enjoy reading the book, and you should all have a copy and with Peter's signature by now. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a pleasure to introduce Peter Freeman. Please join me in welcoming Peter to the stage.
Nothing like being the speaker that stands between you, dessert, and fun. Thank you very much, Alex, for that introduction. Previously, Alex asked me to give my perspectives on the college's progress, how our community is shaping the computing and technology landscapes, the impact we've made, especially on society, as well as a few comments on each faculty member, and the possible outcome of the next presidential election. That should only take us until about 4 a.m. But since the exam, your exam on the book, is not until Monday, you can spend all day tomorrow reading it. Oh, and there was one other serious request to describe the history of the college in only 2 or 3 sentences. But seriously, to try to answer that last request, here is the history in 3 sentences, at least for the first 12 years of our existence. We took a collection of visions that was distilled into an overarching vision that almost everyone supported. Then, with planning that everyone could participate in, and lots of coordinated work by all, a solid foundation for later growth and success was created. The result, an academic college with well over 10,000 students, significant educational and research results, serious and respected leadership on campus and beyond, speaks for itself, in my humble opinion. Let me also acknowledge Jim Foley, who is here this evening, as well as Rich LeBlanc, who was my partner in laying the foundation of the college. And I'll say a bit more about that in a moment. Those two, plus the late Dorothy Crosland and Pete Jensen, had the most to do with birthing the college and bringing me here. I want to say 3 things as briefly as I can, give you a sense of the book as a book, provide a 100,000-foot overview of the history, and address why the college has been so successful. The book is a slim volume, as you've already seen if you've picked up your copy. It's less than 180 pages. It's organized into 9 chapters and an appendix. After a brief introduction, the next 7 chapters are organized around what happened during the time in office of the organizational leaders. The final chapter provides a bit of perspective. The history covers the years from 1947, when the first computer was installed on campus, up to about 2023, just as Charles Isbell, who was supposed to be here, but I am afraid hasn't been seen, was stepping down to become provost at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where he continues to this day. This organizational history is simple at the 100,000-foot level. The first digital computer, as I noted, was installed actually not 1947, that was an old analog, but in 1954-55. Pete Jensen was one of the first programmers. Dorothy Crossland, the librarian at that time, had the idea in the late 50s that computing should be a field of study, teaching, and interaction with society, not just to be used as a tool to solve problems in other fields. She led the establishment of the first School of Information Science in 1964, one of the very first in the nation, and hired Vladimir Slameka to lead it. The Slameka added faculty, including computer science, to the curriculum, and developed one of the first and largest PhD programs at Georgia Tech at that time. He and Pete Jensen had broad visions of computing that informed the college's initial vision, which came about almost 20 years later. The late Ray Miller came from IBM in the late 70s, and over the next decade added strength in computer science while nourishing other aspects of computing as well. Pat Creasine, appointed president in late 1967, brought the idea of adding an institutional focus on computing. He mentioned it actually in his inaugural address, which the late Phil Enslow actually attended. Pete and Rich LeBlanc were the two people instrumental in convincing the reorganization committees that Creasine set up in the late 80s to make computing a college, not just a part of another existing college, and to operate at the same level as engineering, science, architectural, and liberal studies. That took place on July 1, 1990, and I had the great fortune to be chosen to be the founding dean. Over the next 12 years, we laid that foundation on which many of the subsequent developments have been built. Jim Foley was my first hire a few months after becoming dean. He quickly founded, grew, and led the GVU Center, while at the same time providing senior faculty leadership, which he continued to do until his fairly recent retirement. After a brief interim deanship by Professor Ellen Zagura, Rich DeMillo was appointed the second dean of computing in late 2002. Rich built on the organizational and foundation we had built, adding additional faculty strength, adding new areas of study, and bringing his industry experience to strengthen the college in that area. Jim then stepped in as an interim dean for 2 years and continued to strengthen the college's programs. Zvi Galil, who had previously been Dean of Engineering at Columbia and President of Tel Aviv University in Israel, his home country, was hired in 2010 and served until 2019 as the third Dean of Computing. Under his leadership, several new degrees were added, sparking significant growth in numbers, funding, and prominence. Most notable, of course, was the worldwide, well-known OMS CS. In 2019, Charles Isbell, who had been serving as Galil's executive associate dean and the operational head of OMS CS in those days, was appointed the fourth dean of computing. He served in that role during COVID and yet kept the college going forward and OMS CS to expand and continued to make progress despite the pandemic in a number of areas until he left in early 2023 to become provost, as I mentioned. So finally, and it's not quite 4 a.m. yet, why were we successful? The title of my book, cryptic though it is, encapsulates the perspective I developed studying and writing about our history. We started with a vision that has developed over the past 34 years. We recognize the importance of using the vision. We use that vision in explicit and strategic planning to develop shorter-term tactical plans, and indeed, yearly budgeting was done on the basis of it, to considerable success, I might add. We work to engage all faculty and staff. In short, we actualized our vision, and hence the title. Finally, other approaches might have worked, but you can't do an experiment on history. But I'll leave you with an insight that I believe applies much more generally than what we did. Whatever you are doing in your personal life, your professional life, your civic life, it is essential to have a vision of what could be. Engage the people that may be impacted by the vision, and then work in a planned and strategic manner to actualize it. Thank you, and enjoy your dessert.
Well, now that Peter has promised you dessert, it's going to be very hard to follow this. So I'm sorry about it, but I'm going to continue on with the program. My name is Lana Simpkins. I'm a Director of Development in the College of Computing. Good evening, everyone. I'm convinced that the College of Computing alumni, friends, and family can party more than anybody else in the college, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's dance moves tonight. I'm excited to tell you about our rising stars in the Hall of Fame. The College of Computing has a wide range of talented alumni in every age group. The Rising Star Award honors the best of our more recent alumni, those who have made an outstanding impact in the early years of their careers. And our first Rising Star of the year is Joy Buolamwini. She is the founder of the Algorithmic Justice League, a groundbreaking MIT researcher and an artist. She wrote the national bestseller, Unmasking AI, My Mission to Protect What is Human in the World of Machines. Her research on facial recognition technologies transformed the world of AI auditing. Her Gender Shades paper is one of the most cited peer-reviewed AI ethics publications ever. Her TED Talk on algorithmic bias has been viewed more than 1.7 million times. Buolamwini advises government leaders and agencies on equitable and accountable AI policy. Her art, which centers the impact of AI on society, has been exhibited across 4 continents. Her work has appeared in publications like Time, the New York Times, Harvard Business Review, and Rolling Stone. She's featured in Emmy-nominated documentary Coded Bias, which is available in 30 languages. Unfortunately, Joy was not able to join us tonight, and we're looking forward to recognizing her next year. But we are very excited to have her as our rising star this year. Our next rising star is Anil Chawla. Anil is a technology entrepreneur and executive based in Durham, North Carolina. Anil most recently founded and led Archive Social, the #1 provider of software to archive and produce legal records of social media content. Archive Social's technology promotes government transparency by enabling thousands of public agencies to participate on social media while ensuring compliance with Freedom of Information Act requirements. The company is best known for its official ongoing role in preserving the social media history of the Executive Office of the President. In 2017, Archive Social partnered with the Obama White House to produce the first ever interactive archive of presidential social media available to the public. Under his leadership as the founding CEO, the company grew from startup idea to more than 70 employees, 2,500 customers, and 8-figure annual recurring revenues. Archive Social was acquired in 2022, and Anil now invests his time toward mentoring and advising early-stage entrepreneurs. Anil was honored as the Georgia Tech 40 Under 40 in 2022, and currently serves on the advisory board of the College of Computing. Anil, would you join me?
Good evening. This is an unbelievable award. In fact, so unbelievable that I was in shock to find out that my name was even in the conversation about such an award. But it had me thinking about my senior year in high school, all the way back, and I had this interview for the Georgia Tech Presidential Scholarship. And towards the end of the interview, they asked me, so, Anil, what are all the colleges that you're applying to? And I remember staring blankly at the interviewers and then saying, I'm only applying to Georgia Tech. That's where I'm going to go. In hindsight, all these years later, I realized that was not the strongest response to win an exclusive scholarship. I didn't get it. But I'm so glad that I had made up my mind for Georgia Tech, and I'm glad that Georgia Tech accepted me. Again, I had no backup plan. Because the decision to go to Georgia Tech has truly been impactful and consequential in a very positive way in my professional success and my overall happiness. And so in saying thank you tonight, I thought I'd share 2 quick anecdotes on those 2 topics. In terms of my personal happiness, on October 14th in the year 2000, I attended my first Georgia Tech football game, turned around to the bleacher behind me, and was introduced to the woman who would become my future wife. Yeah. So thank you to Versha. I'm so glad, Versha, that you attended that Georgia Tech football game and then subsequently decided to spend the rest of your life with me. It is unbelievable to have that kind of person in your life. When I was nervous about jumping into the deep end of entrepreneurship, she wrapped her arms around me and jumped in with me. And I can only be so blessed to have that kind of person in that life journey. And I really credit Tech for bringing that quality of person into my life. Unlike me, thank you. Versha had applied to many colleges, places like Carnegie Mellon and other places that she got into, and she chose Tech. So that really speaks to the caliber of human being that Georgia Tech can attract. And only because Georgia Tech won her over did I have a chance to do so. On the professional side of things, my sophomore year here at Tech, I met a research advisor who took me under his wing, put me on a really interesting project. It was the most impactful thing I worked on in my undergraduate years. Later brought me an internship opportunity, and it is the reason why I had a job lined up 1 year ahead of graduation. It is the reason why, when I graduated, I moved to the Raleigh-Durham region, and I reconnected with Versha, and we would start dating again. It is the reason why, when I decided to quit my job, I found myself in the right place at the right time in an emerging startup community where I could start my company. And I'm sure he had no idea about the butterfly effect he would have on my life, but he truly had an impact. And I wanted to share it with all of you today because that research advisor's name was Alex Orso. You now know him as the interim dean. And thank you, Alex, for the impact and the trajectory that you set me on. Thank you to all of the staff, the professors, the TAs at Georgia Tech that cultivated me as a human being, because when I jumped in the deep end, I could have just sank to the bottom, and I didn't, right? Like most people at Georgia Tech, I was able to find my way to the top and eventually rise above, and I really appreciate that. And then last but not least, I want to thank my parents. I don't pay gratitude to this enough, but you have 2 people that decided to relocate themselves 8,000 miles away from the rest of their family in India to move to the United States. And then they did that again. All of our family was in the Northeast, and they relocated themselves south, the only childless to go south, and came to this charming state of Georgia. And among the many things they did to set me up for success in life, To be able to so easily and affordably access one of the best educations in the world is truly a gift. So I'm very, very grateful for that. So thank you all. Go Jackets.
Thank you, and Anil, thank you. As Anil was saying, he worked on research with me as an undergrad. I think, the dinosaurs were roaming the earth, but I have very fond memories of our collaboration and what we did together. And in fact, I remember when I saw Anil that as an advisory board member 20 years later, that was just amazing, and also made me feel very, very old, I have to say, but it was just great. But anyway, it's time to move on to the Hall of Fame, when we recognize those whose careers have shaped the college and the field of computing. And I have to say, this is a special night for me, as I finally get to recognize a person who has played a fundamental role in my life. As I can say that, I would not be here if it weren't for her. And this is Mary Jean Herold, who was one of our Class 3 inductees. Mary Jean joined the College of Computing in 1999 as a professor and founded the Aristotle Research Group, which was focusing on helping basically software engineering to become more productive, so to better test and maintain their software. And Mary Jean was a fellow of the ACM and the IEEE, and her research on static analysis and software testing is considered foundational. But even more than that, Mary Jean was just a fantastic person. She was a fierce advocate for women and other underrepresented minorities, and she was always ready to put unlimited effort into helping them succeed. So, in a word, Mary Jean cared. She cared deeply about her colleagues and students, and she was passionate about her work. And I still remember something that Mary Jean used to say quite often during my first period at Georgia Tech, when we were pulling an all-nighter for a paper or a research proposal. And she was always saying, if anyone can do it, you can, Alex. And I really loved that sentence. And how she said it, with a big smile. And I still love it now, because it really summarizes Mary Jean's attitude toward people and her ability to motivate and push them, if you wish, but always in a nice and encouraging way. So to conclude, and if you allow me a slightly more personal note, I want to say that I was honored and really fortunate to share so many moments with Mary Jean. Her family should be very proud of her, what she accomplished and how much she did for all of us. When she passed away in 2013, which is really way too soon, Mary Jean left a big void in all the people whose lives she touched. That day, I lost a colleague, a mentor, and a friend, and I will always miss her dearly. But I don't want to close on a somber note. So Mary Jean was always smiling, and she has a contagious smile, really, and that's how I want to remember her. Smiling, cheerful, and funny, and she always was. So in this spirit, I'm happy that we finally get to publicly recognize Mary Jean, and that her son, Tom, and her grandson, Tommy, are here tonight with us to celebrate her. So please, welcome Tom to the stage.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex. On behalf of my father, my brother, my wife, and my two sons, I'd like to thank you for honoring my mother, Mary Jean. Thank you, Alex and Sharon, for arranging for Tommy and I to be here tonight. So I just want to say thank you very much. I'm glad we were able to get down here finally and accept the honor. Thank you.
So it is my honor now to introduce Ghetti, and I promise I won't get emotional on this one. There are many reasons why Adam was selected and inducted into the Hall of Fame. So Adam is an entrepreneur and innovator at heart. He started a company, which is pretty impressive, while in high school, and the company was then sold. Then he founded Ionic Security in 2011, which was sold to Twilio Inc. In 2021. He was also a co-founder, CEO, and CTO of Adapter, a tech startup that is about how people and AI can coexist, which is a very important topic nowadays. And in fact, and I quote here, the goal for this company was to build the next generation of tools that at their core reimagine how real people interact with the collaborative and intelligent technologies in their daily lives. Adam is also a member of the Council of Foreign Relations and is on the board of several enterprises and nonprofits. And in addition to that, he issued and co-authors about 20 US patents. He's also widely recognized, so by Forbes 30 Under 30 as a thought leader in technology, and by the World Economic Forum as a 2015 technology pioneer. He's also a very dear friend of the college. He's an advisory board member, and his presence is always fundamental, to the contribution that the advisory board makes to the College of Computing. He's a founding supporter of the Constellations Center. And many people affiliated with the College of Computing are in his orbit, including Chris Klaus, Tom Noonan, and Paul Judge. He also participated in Flashpoint Accelerator. So in summary, Adam is passionate about and committed to the Georgia Tech in general and to the College of Computing and to our students. He perfectly represents our motto of progress and service. Please join me in recognizing Adam and welcoming him to the stage.
Good evening. Thank you all for taking some time out of your lives to be here in recognition of many, myself included. With great gratitude, I am here. Kind of like Anil, when I got the phone call about this happening and this honor being something that I had been considered and selected for, I really looked at Alex and said, "Are you sure you got the right Adam? There are many of them out there." But he did assure me of that, and with that, I prepared a few words, which I'll have off this phone here. I'm not tweeting or anything like that. Alex just ended on the Georgia Tech motto, progress and service. Standing here today is a rather surreal moment for me, yet embodying the official motto of Georgia Tech, progress and service, really does come naturally to me. It is an honor to have had the opportunity in collaborating with this prestigious institution over the last decade. While I am not an official product of Georgia Tech's rigorous academic curriculum, nor even in possession of a high school diploma for that matter, I have fully immersed within this institution's transformative philosophy, initially through Flashpoint, then through ongoing professional and academic research collaborations, the Constellations Center, and as a member of the college's advisory board. I have had the opportunity to experience much of what this institution has to offer its students. And through that, I have also had the opportunity to experience the college as a lover of knowledge and as an institution with a bias towards action. Through some odd form of osmosis, this has equipped me with furthering my pursuits, not just of solving problems, but of seeking them. Much of what I have learned can be embodied by the observable wisdom of the Institute itself. Having witnessed the impact of revolutionary programs like the online Masters in Computer Science, which has democratized more access to advanced computing knowledge than any other higher education institute. It has been recognized around the world and was declared, as I quote, by Forbes, by nearly any measure, the most successful degree program in history. It has produced over 10,000 graduates, currently hosting nearly 12,000 active students, all within an average all-in cost of $7,000 per student, which is an order of magnitude cheaper than the national average. Its success is unparalleled and has forever evolved the expectations of global educational institutions. In practical terms, this has allowed for those with the minds and hearts which are capable of improving the world we live in today and preparing us for the world that is coming tomorrow, to not be hindered by financial barriers in their pursuits. Other programs such as CreateX, generously advocated for by Christopher Klaus, whose name graces the campus facilities where much of this college's actual work takes place, have been incredibly successful. With the involvement of over 5,000 representatively diverse students, the program has given birth to hundreds of groundbreaking ventures, some of which have greatly impacted industries and already boast market values measured in billions of dollars, with students that are still in college ages of their life. I truly believe that no other public institution is better aligned with the dynamically and rapidly progressing practical needs of our society than Georgia Tech. This institution is not only adept at preparing students for the current challenges we all collectively face, but it is also adept at foreseeing and equipping students for future hurdles. In a recent national study, Georgia Tech was rated the top university for its impact on AI, producing over 3% of America's AI professionals already, a remarkable feat that saw us edge out all other distinguished institutions. With this root of human identity being shaken at its core right now, the center of much attention now being placed on the topic of what it means to be human at its core, all stemming in no small part due to the technical innovations catalyzing the entire era of AI we are all now living in. It is more important now than ever before, those who are impacting such a field embody the ideals of progress and service. This is why in 2022, as the culmination and focus of my life's work thus far, we founded Adapter with the mission of ensuring empowerment of us individuals is not a potential byproduct of this innovation, but a core pursuit. The robust legacy, firmly founded on progress and service, continues to inspire countless innovations. I am truly humbled to be but a small part of building on this legacy, and I can only anticipate greater things for the Georgia Tech family. In my time in collaboration with the Institute, I have realized that Georgia Tech does not merely prepare its students for the world, but it prepares the world for its students. As with our predecessors, and in deference to those who are yet to come, we all bear the weight and honor of upholding this tradition. And so, here is a cheers to the future and an inevitable testament of Georgia Tech's enduring commitment to progress and service. And here's to those without their patience, generosity, and curiosity, I would not have had the opportunity to be here to serve today and hopefully help usher in a little bit of progress. I'd like to give deep gratitude and thanks first and foremost to my parents, for whom with literally I would not be here today, to Christopher Klaus, to Sig Mosley, to Tom Noonan, to Merrick First, Zvi Galil, Paul Judge, Ted Schlein, Dr. David Bader, Dr. Mustaq Ahmad, Paula and Roger Murray, the entire COC Advisory Board, and countless others that time will not allow be named in this moment. I also like to give thanks to all who are in this room, because every single person in this room is progressing and serving. You're serving yourself so you can serve those you love, and you're serving those you love so the world we all live in will be better. And for each and every one of you, I thank you. Go Jackets.
Let's hear it for Adam Ghetti, everybody.
Thank you, Adam. And our next inductee is Neha Narkhede, who's a MS-CS graduate of 2007. She's a technology entrepreneur and an investor. She had many accomplishments. She led the development of Apache Kafka, and if you're a software engineer and a geek like me, you will know Apache Kafka, so I was very excited about that. And this is a platform that is used by more than 80% of the Fortune 500 companies. Then she co-founded and led Confluent, which basically built on Apache Kafka and made it easier to use for companies. So even more excited for software engineers like me. She wasn't, she wasn't going to stop, and she founded Oscilar, a no-code, AI-powered risk decisioning platform that helps financial technology companies manage fraud, credit, and compliance risks. Neha, in addition to that, advises and invests in numerous technology startups. She received a number of awards. In fact, I'm not going to cite them all because probably it's faster to mention the ones that she didn't get than the ones that she got. So I'm just going to mention a few, kind of a small sample. In 2022, she got the Grace Hopper's Technology Entrepreneurship Abie Award. In 2018, she got the Forbes World Top 15 Women in Tech list. And in 2017, she was listed as one of the MIT Technology Review's Innovators Under 35. And as I said, there's many more awards. So in summary, Neha is a well-recognized leader for women in technology and in the entrepreneurial world. In addition to being an alumna, she has special connection to Ghetti through our own Sham Navathe, who's also going to be awarded tonight. So he was her, I think, advisor for her master thesis. And unfortunately, she cannot be here because she had a previous commitment. But please, I would like you to join me in recognizing Neha tonight. And speaking of Sham Navathe, it is my immense pleasure tonight to induct Sham Navathe into the Hall of Fame for the College of Computing. Sham has been a professor of computer science in the College of Computing since it was established in 1990. And if you read Peter's book, as you will all do after tonight, you can see that he was the first full professor in the College of Computing. He's the founder of the Database Systems Research Group at Georgia Tech, and he's an incredible scholar. He has authored over 200 peer-reviewed research papers. He also co-authors a book that many of you will know if you ever studied databases, which is called Fundamentals of Database Systems, which is the leading database textbook worldwide since it was introduced in 1989. And it was translated and published in more than a dozen languages. He also chaired VLDB and Sigmoda, which are the main conferences in the database area. And he was also an incredible mentor in addition to being an incredible researcher. He has graduated 25 PhD students and has educated countless students, including many who ended up having their own successful careers and having a tremendous impact on technology and society. And we'll see someone else tonight. He has served in many capacities in the college, and for his achievements, Sham was elected as a fellow of the Association for Computing Machinery in 2014, and was the recipient of the IEEE Computer Science Engineering and Education Impact Award in 2015. So to summarize, Sham has been a pillar of the college. He has been a fantastic researcher, has had a tremendous impact on CS education, and has significantly contributed to the success and reputation of the College of Computing from its inception. Unfortunately, Sham cannot be here, and this is kind of a funny story because by the time we announced the award, he already booked a cruise with his wife. And he tried to change the cruise so he could board in a different place in the US. He contacted the company. It didn't work out. He tried to find friends who could go on his behalf, and it didn't work out. So he really tried to be here tonight, but he couldn't. So anyways, even if he's not here, I would like for you to please join me in recognizing Sham for his contributions. Last but not least, I would like to introduce Jim Pitkoff, who was nominated by Jim Foley, who's sitting right here. So Jim had a successful career as a researcher, entrepreneur, angel investor, venture capitalist, and most importantly, civic activist. He did his PhD at Georgia Tech after graduating with honors from the University of Colorado, Boulder, where he prototyped some of the first uses of web for NASA. At Tech, Jim did something pretty impactful, which was to conduct the first ever web service and collecting user behavior from browsers. And this was, could be considered to be the birth of web analytics, which is, now a very popular area. Upon completing his PhD, Jim was hired at Xerox PARC. And after that, he's been an entrepreneur. He was co-founder of Attributor, He also co-founded Anchor Intelligence. He's definitely an innovator. He co-authors 37 patents, and he was co-authoring 50 highly cited publications. And furthermore, and even more impressively, in my opinion, is the fact that Jim had many accomplishments with deep societal impact, which is something we really care about. His work at Thorn to prevent online child sexual exploitation is exemplar. And his work at Metabiota to create a world resilient to epidemics is also pretty impressive. And as somebody who lived through the pandemics of COVID-19 and has young kids, because I'm a late bloomer, I can definitely appreciate these contributions by Jim. He also played an instrumental role in forming the Smart Tech Challenges Foundation in response to the Sandy Hook shooting. And therefore, for all these reasons, I believe that Jim is an ideal recipient for this recognition. And I'm honored to induct him into the College of Computing Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming Jim to the stage.
Thanks, everyone. It's a real honor to be up here. When I look at the impact that Georgia Tech's College of Computing had on my life, it's truly profound. It wouldn't have happened without Jim Foley and Peter Friedman. While I did prototype some of the first uses of the web for NASA, I applied to the PhD program, and because I had a minor in computer science, they said no way. And it wasn't because, or it was because Jim took the call of my advisor, Peter Polson, that they figured out how to get me into the master's program. Peter made sure that I took all the remedial courses that I missed, which was great because I learned a lot about computing that way. But it was through the College of Computing that I really learned about innovation. The structure of the college, the education that it provided me, but more importantly, the people that it put me in touch with, the mentorship that I received from Jim and others was tremendous, and it continues to have long-lasting impact on me. I'm forever changed by the notion of progress and service, and I feel very fortunate to be in front of you all here tonight. So thank you very much, and I appreciate this award deeply.
Let's hear it for Jim, everybody.
So I can give you your award.
Yeah, if you're going to do it right now.
All right, so we're almost done. So I would like for you to please join me in a round of applause for all of our Hall of Fame inductees tonight. Our new inductees are joining an impressive group, many of whom are here tonight. So please, if you were a previous Hall of Fame member, would you mind please standing up so that people can applaud you? I know some of you are here. Peter, Jim. And also I'd like to say, tonight we were supposed to be in a different location with some AI empowered, so it was being pretty impressive. The thing didn't work out for various reasons, but I would say that this is pretty good as an alternative solution. So I hope you're all enjoying being here. And what I would like to do before concluding the official part of the ceremony, I would like to introduce someone else who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyways. And this is Reza Gorieshi. So Reza graduated from Georgia Tech with his CS degree in 1996. I think he was 12 at the time, give or take. And he specialized in organizational transformation by focusing on identifying essential business priorities, differentiations, and trends that will shape custom strategic direction. So just, to keep it short, Reza is an extremely successful entrepreneur and plays an invaluable role in the college as a chair of our advisory board. And on a more personal note, it has been a delight to interact with Reza during my tenure as interim dean. He is smart, funny, and supportive, which I would say is a pretty rare combination of qualities. So please join me in welcoming Reza to the stage.
Wow, that was very unexpected. Thank you, Alex. I was thinking, why in the world do they have me up here? I'm certainly not a rising star, because that would have been 30 years ago. Don't let this beautiful face fool you. It's old. It's certainly not an inductee, because they also told me that will never happen, because I've accomplished nothing. So I've been thinking, why am I up here and what do I have to contribute? Well, it's hard because one thing is I don't have this beautiful, very delicious accent that Alex has. So you have to admit, it's a pretty delicious, I just gotta eat it, this accent. So it's not that. So I guess the only reason I can possibly think of, well, at first I thought, well, maybe because it's the minuscule donation that I give, but I realized it's pretty minuscule and there's many of you that give far more. Maybe I was the last person standing. That can't be true because all of you guys are out there and they could have picked, anyone. So the only conclusion I had, it must have been with the amazing and beautiful support that I have from my wife from picking out my outfits and making me look so good. That's the only reason I can possibly think of. This is my Georgia Tech education, process of elimination and deduction. So, but that's about it. So, but I do want to say something here is, it has been a short period of time that I've known Alex, and I'm saddened that it has not been longer, but it's been an absolute pleasure. Yes, and I love the accent. Trust me, I love it. Mamma mia, it's beautiful. So he's been an incredible person to know, an amazing leader, even when you're tasked with this impossible task of being an interim dean. As you guys all know, things that are interim is basically a placeholder. Come, go, don't do anything, don't say anything, don't make any waves. Just hang in there is the role. This, by definition, is interim. But this is exactly not Alex at all, and this is why I'm here tonight, is because he has been an amazing contributor during this short stint in this position. And his contribution, his energy, his ability to lead and keep this college not just steady state, which is what really is the expectation, is just to don't F it up, just keep the status quo until they find what they want to find. And this is not what Alex has done. During this short period of time, he's been an amazing contributor in being able to elevate the school, continue to make people proud of the school, providing ideas, having the faculty energized around him is unlike any other that I've seen in the past. So, with that, I wanted to take and I realized why they asked me is because Steve McLaughlin couldn't be here as the provost, because he had the great idea and Lana, that we would like to and myself would like to join in and provide Alex with a plaque of appreciation for the amazing job that he's done during the short stint as our interim dean. I couldn't be prouder. I'm very happy. So, I would like to present you with this plaque of appreciation. Thank you. Alex, you're a wonderful man. Thank you. And I love you very much.
Let's hear it for Reza, everybody.
You have to agree, he is an amazing person, is he not? He's amazing. You are, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Back to you.
All right, back to
Maestro.
me. Oh my gosh. I promised I was not going to get emotional, but I'm probably going to get emotional again. Give me a second. Thank you, Reza. That was just great, and I appreciate that. As I said, this was a highlight of my 24 years at Georgia Tech. So I thank everybody who made this possible. So I would like to conclude. I really appreciate this, and it's fantastic. I just like to conclude by thanking everybody who made this event possible, and if I can extend that a bit, everybody who made my stint as interim dean a little easier. And in particular, I'd like to thank Tonya Peoples, who unfortunately couldn't be here because of some family issues, but I really wish that she was here. I'd like to thank Bernie Robert, who really kind of went above and beyond in order to organize this night. Cynthia Bryant for all the help that she provided during my interim stint at as dean, and really she was she really provided an amazing amount of help. The whole event and communications team for making this this evening happen, and all of you, of course, for being here, all of our fantastic inductees and all of our fantastic Rising Stars awards. So now, the moment I've been, really, waiting for all night, which is in addition to the celebration. As people who know me, will imagine I kind of like to dance, and so I would like for you to ask me to please join me on the dance floor. We have a fantastic band and fantastic music for you tonight. I know we ran a little long, so maybe we have like 5 minutes to dance or something along those lines. But please join me on the dance floor, enjoy the night, and thank you all for being here.
Make some noise for Alex, everybody. And also make some noise for the College of Computing.